Hi, I'm teacher Victoria, and welcome to the ESL Classroom. If you're listening with your morning coffee, commuting, or just giving yourself a quiet moment to learn something new, you're in the right place. Each episode here offers a slow, steady walkthrough of an idea, something you can listen to for fun, for learning, or simply for comfort. No pressure, no rush. Just a clear explanation and a calm space to breathe. So get comfortable, take a deep breath, and let's ease into today's topic.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to dive into something that's, well, it's really tough and a lot of parents don't talk about it. How do you keep that loving connection with your grown-up kids, but also, protect your own peace? We're talking about setting boundaries. I know it sounds almost counterintuitive, right? But stick with me, because we're going to see how it might just be the best possible thing you can do for them and for you. Let's just start by acknowledging this, okay? This quote, wow, the exhaustion you feel is real. The resentment building in your relationship is valid. If that hits home for you, if you're the one constantly putting out fires, funding their life, dealing with all the drama, you are not alone. And that feeling, that's your gut telling you something has to change. For everyone. All right, so how do we even get here? It all starts with this idea on the screen, this problem of endless giving. Look, your first instinct is to help, right? To give, to sacrifice, of course it is. You're a parent. But what happens when that instinct just keeps going with no limits? Well, that's when you accidentally create these patterns that honestly end up hurting everybody. And this right here just lays it out so perfectly. Love without limits becomes enabling. Support without conditions becomes dependence. Think about it. Every single time you swoop in and rescue your adult child from the consequences of their choices, you're not actually helping them. You think you are, but you're not. You're just enabling a cycle that keeps them from growing up, and it completely drains you in the process. Okay, so how do we break that cycle? It's all about a mental shift. We have to stop seeing boundaries as this big, scary rejection and start seeing them for what they really are, a gift. Seriously, it's not about being cold or unloving, it's the exact opposite. It's about creating the space for real growth, for mutual respect. It's a gift of trust. So what is a boundary, really, in this context? I mean, yeah, it's a limit you set to protect yourself, your sanity, your finances, but look at the second part of this definition. It's also sending a message that you trust your child to handle their own life. Wow, that's so powerful. You're basically saying, I love you, and because I love you, I believe you are capable of handling this. I love this chart. It makes things so crystal clear. On the left, you've got enabling. See how it's all about short-term fixes? Rescuing them, funding the pattern, creating dependence. But then look over on the right at empowering. That's the long game. Trusting them to learn, funding their progress, fostering real independence. That's the shift we're aiming for. It's the shift that gets them to where you've always wanted them to be. Okay, let's get practical. Where do you even start setting these boundaries? It really boils down to 3 foundational areas: your money, your home, and your right to be treated with respect. All right, first up, money, the financial boundary. Look, setting these limits doesn't make you a bad parent. It makes you a smart one. You have to figure out before they ask what you can actually afford to give without putting your own future at risk. And practicing saying no to things like co-signing a loan, that's not a rejection, that's you protecting your retirement. And hey, if you do decide to help in an emergency, think about making it conditional. Tie it to their growth. Suggest they see a financial counselor. That way you know your money is helping them move forward, not just stay stuck. Next, the home boundary. This one is absolutely critical if they're living with you. Your home needs to stay your sanctuary, not just become a crash pad. This means having the conversation about rent and chores right away, immediately. It changes the dynamic from them being a guest to being a contributing adult. And setting a move-out timeline, even a flexible one you work on together, is huge. It makes sure you're both on the same page, working towards their independence, instead of just letting things slide into a permanent setup. And this one is completely non-negotiable. No relationship, not even with your own child, gives them a free pass to treat you with disrespect. If a conversation devolves into screaming or name-calling, you have every right to say, I'm not going to be spoken to like this, and then hang up the phone or walk out of the room. This isn't about punishing them for having a bad day. This is about you refusing to accept a pattern of being treated poorly. Okay, now for the really tough part, the emotional storms. Because let's be real, setting boundaries is probably going to trigger some intense reactions. The big question is, how do you stand your ground without caving when that storm hits? And this is the tactic that parents dread the most, right? The emotional blackmail, the threats about never seeing the grandkids again, or the classic, if you really loved me, you'd do this for me. It's a tactic that's literally designed to hit you right where it hurts the most. This table here is basically your cheat sheet. It gives you the scripts. The absolute key is to stay calm and refuse to get pulled into the drama, into that power struggle. You're not being cold, you're just refusing to be manipulated. When you respond with something like, I'll miss you, but I respect your decision, you totally neutralize the threat. You're not fighting back, you're just not playing the game. And this applies to your emotional energy too. You have to stop being their 24/7 therapist or their personal crisis manager. There is a huge, huge difference between being a supportive parent who listens and being their on-call, unpaid counselor. It's okay to listen, and it is also totally okay to say, wow, that sounds really hard. Have you thought about talking to a professional about it? This chart just says it all, doesn't it? If 40% of your emotional energy is going to their constant crises, and another 30% is just them venting at you, look at what's left for your own well-being. It's a tiny sliver. That is not sustainable. Boundaries are how you get that energy back. It's how you protect your own peace of mind. And that brings us to something that's so important. This isn't just about them. This is about you. It's about you reclaiming your life. After decades of putting their needs first, it's your turn. And here's a fundamental truth you need to hear. Your life choices do not require their approval. Full stop. Whether you're dating someone new, selling the family home, taking that trip you've always dreamed of, you do not need their permission. If they're uncomfortable with your choices, well, that's their problem to manage, not yours to fix. You have earned this. This even applies to being a grandparent. Just look at this chart. When you're basically on-demand childcare, look at that stress level. It's through the roof, and your freedom is gone. But when you set some boundaries and shift into joyful grandparenting, the stress just plummets. It's the difference between feeling like a service provider and feeling like you have a relationship you can actually enjoy. And finally, you cannot let past mistakes be held over your head forever. Every parent makes them. You're human. The strategy here is simple. Apologize sincerely once for any real hurt you caused, and then you refuse to let it be used as a weapon against you. When they try to bring it up to manipulate you now, you firmly but gently redirect the conversation back to whatever the current issue is. So, after all this difficult, uncomfortable work, what's the big reward? Why should you even bother? Because the payoff isn't a broken relationship. It's a healthier one. It's a total transformation for the better. And this quote, this is really the heart of the whole thing. Your adult children need you to believe in their capability more than they need your rescue. Read that again. They need your trust in them more than they need your money or your help. That trust is the most powerful gift you can give, and it's the foundation of any healthy adult relationship. And this is what that positive transformation looks like. Boundaries don't push them away. They actually bring you closer, but in a much healthier way. The resentment starts to disappear. You get to protect your own health and your own future. And this is the amazing part, they develop real, genuine independence and self-respect. The whole relationship shifts to being based on choice and connection, not on neediness and obligation. So let's wrap this up with a call to action. I want you to think about this question. It doesn't have to be some huge dramatic change. Maybe it's just not answering a non-emergency text at 10 p.m. Maybe it's saying no to a last-minute request for money. What is one small boundary you can choose to set this week to get this whole process started?